So, let's talk about it. To recap, Girlfriend 4, I met her in 2009. She was fun and wild and had a lot of emotional and psychological issues. A lot of which I don't think were her fault. In 2011, she was institutionalized after a number of suicide attempts. I'd go and visit her almost every day. She also, I think I told you, she took my virginity. She was just a lot of fun. She was a very exhilarating relationship. Very, like, I don't know. I was very like moth to a flame to her. So forgive me if I look at my phone a lot. I have a lot of notes. I have a lot of like bullet points. Yep, we're still going. Oh, there we go. So I got a lot of bullet points, and each one of these is a story. Buckle up, kiddos. So forgive me if I'm going to try and keep my eyes on you. We met again in late 2014. We had a coffee date. She was looking very good. She, like I said before, she used to be kind of like emo or scene, and crazy hair, and she looked normal. Like, she looked like she had her shit together. She no longer looked like she was a 17-year-old. She looked like a 23-year-old. Like, she looked like she was doing better in life. She had a really I forget what car she had, but she had a really nice car, a Dodge Avenger. I don't know if Dodge does that. I don't know. I remember the model. I remember I don't know. It was called, the type of car was called an Avenger, and she liked it because she's big into Thor. There's a cat with me too. There's Chuck. Yeah, we had coffee. We met up. We caught up. We had a good time. She was really impressed. I was very impressed with her progress. Like, she was, she didn't really do anything really to impress me, but like just what she was giving off, the kind of like vibes and how she was speaking, and she said she had moved out, and I just got out of a shower, and she's just doing good for herself. I guess she had a job. She had held down a job for longer than a few months, and she was able to, she was just impressing me. So we met up a few more times after that, and later, a few weeks later, we went to her apartment in Anchorage. Her sister lived in the same kind of complex, like in the same buildings, but she lived in the building like behind, not in the same building, but like in another building behind her. We went to meet her sister. I'd never met her sister before. We went to meet her at night, and this is the first sign of things getting weird. Her sister had a baby about 3 or 4 months prior, and had left me alone in her sister's apartment with this 4-month-old baby. I've never changed a diaper. I've like me and my brothers are all around the same age. I don't have any cousin, like all my cousins are around the same age. I've never changed a diaper. None of us have kids. I don't know if this baby's a boy or a girl, because like it's still in like the early, it's still young enough to like, it doesn't have like facial features, like, it's still just like this larva looking thing that like, it's kind of like, like, how like babies early enough, it's like hard to kind of tell like who it's going to look like, the mom or the dad more. And everybody left me for 4 hours until 3 a.m. And I remember just sitting here with this half black baby. And just watching Adult Swim. Trying to stay awake. This baby's crying. I do everything that I know how to do with an infant. Like I said, I don't know what to do, but I do everything I can. And I'm ready to call the cops, because this is child abandonment, and I don't know its name. I just met the sister. I don't know where girlfriend 4 is. I still don't know where they went. They later came back to the apartment, and I was upset with both of them. I left the sister's apartment without anybody. I just grabbed the keys and went over to girlfriend 4's apartment, and I just crashed on the bed, on the bed. About 1 minute later, not even 1 minute later, the door swings open, the lights are on, and her sister is screaming at me for fuck knows why, saying like, you don't just leave, you don't. She was mad that I left her, that I gave her baby back to her, basically. She was mad at me because she left me with her kid. And then she was mad that I was mad because she did that. She was mad that I was mad. 4 hours with this kid. I don't know its name. I don't know who the father is. Like, I only know the name of the mother. The most I could tell you about this kid is that I'm dating its aunt. Like, I don't fucking know. And she screams at me. The sister. She's screaming at me. And she says, fuck you. And I get out of bed, and I'm tired. I get out of bed, I say, no, fuck you. And then she gets this close to me. Hold on. Yeah, this close to me. And I realize she wants me gone. She wants me to hit her or do something stupid because I was told something before this. Before meeting her sister, I was told that her sister, girlfriend's sister, was fucking my girlfriend's husband at the time. And buying drugs off of him. So, and then I'm the replacement, right? I'm not, and and she's, I don't know, I'm awake enough to realize that, like, she wants me gone. She wants me, the replacement, out of her life. And how she's gonna do it is she's gonna egg me on into shoving her or something. And I just remember going like, I hear she's still yelling at me, but I just remember just like, like, I almost hit this person. If I was any more tired, Anyway, the sister and I kind of had a feud. She did not like me. I don't know. I didn't talk much, so she just assumed that I was retarded. I guess that's... So, oh, and the sister, I have a little bit of a side note. The sister had recently been in an accident and OD'd with the boyfriend and baby in the car. And then she had ran a red light and hit a truck. Or hit a car. I don't know if it was a truck. I just wrote truck for some reason. But it was a car. I don't know. Truck or car. There was a collision. The boyfriend had a bunch of broken ribs, internal bleeding. The baby was luckily fine. And the sister was fine. But yeah, she had overdosed on like heroin or something. Yeah. My girlfriend at the time let me in on a lot of stuff that was going on currently. Kind of the current, like, you know, her family politics of what was going on recently. And this was a recent thing. So she was probably on some kind of bender that night too. You know, the night that she was yelling at me and chasing me around. My girlfriend moves out of her apartment, or not fully moves out, but she comes to visit me in Wasilla. I lived with my mom at the time. And I don't know, things have gotten bad between her and her sister that she wanted to get away. And my mom was nice enough to let her stay. And so we lived there. So this is from November to December. This is about roughly a month that she lived, that girlfriend 4 lived with me in Wasilla. And everything was fine until then. We kind of had we had Christmas, we had my birthday, we just kind of, I don't know, it was a nice time. And then she moves out in January back to her apartment. And I think it was 10 days later. 10 days later after she moved out, she calls me and she tells me that she's cutting herself. This is something that 2009 girlfriend 4 would do. Remember what I said? I used to kind of like run to her rescue, which was fine, you know. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm this great guy, you know. I don't want to seem like that. I just, but this was like, you know, oh, Kurt, I'm cutting, I can't, you know, like she was, I don't know, she was alone or something, I don't fucking know. Whatever the case, there was a really bad blizzard out, and I said, can I see you tomorrow when it's not dark? And there's a bee near me. Can I see you tomorrow? I don't know if I'm gonna make it tomorrow. And so I'm driving out in a blizzard, and it's one of those blizzards where it's dark, and when you're driving you can't see anything but the beams of headlight in front of you that are just like 10 feet in front. You can only see like 10 feet in front of you, and then the snow coming at you looks like hyperspace. Let's see, where was I? I come out to see her in a storm. Yeah. I end up moving in with her somehow. Yeah, that's what it was. It was, she was cutting, she wanted me to come out and save her, and that turned into me living there for a month, and then things kind of went back to normal after that little incident. So far, I've been left alone with a baby in October or November. So that's one incident. I was just left alone. Girlfriend just left with her sister and came back, and I was berated for being upset about the whole thing. Weird thing number one. Weird thing number two happened in January. So these weird things are happening kind of spaced out. They're still happening, but like they're spaced out enough that like it's like dipping a frog in water and then making the water hot. It's like it kind of grows accustomed to it. I don't know if that was a good analogy, but like they were so far apart that I didn't really notice it. Like I noticed it, but like I wasn't really like things are weird. You know, I was like, oh, things are just I don't know. There's I guess this crazy thing's happening. Says things were fine until February. Her sister destroyed a house on during the Super Bowl, 2015. So her family's a big Seahawks family. The rest of her family was out of town to go to the Super Bowl, and it was the Patriots versus Seahawks, and Patriots won. And I'm not a big sports guy, so I don't really understand like the significant. I'm not saying like sports are stupid or anything. I'm just saying I don't get the significance behind it. I don't understand like making like having a riot every time your team loses or even wins. But this family was really into it, and the sister especially was really into it. She was drinking all night, or drinking all day until the evening, and she's like crying, and then she's happy again, and then I remember she was in the bathroom for a long time, and she comes back out and she's happy again, which was probably her shooting up. I don't fucking know. And then the Patriots won. Uh-oh. Them damn Patriots. So, yeah, she ripped out the dishwasher. This is her brother's house, by the way. I forgot to mention. So her family was out of town, and her family gave permission, like, hey, you can watch the Super Bowl on our big TV, and in our big house. It's this beautiful house, and the sister gets so mad that she rips out the dishwasher and it flooded the whole kitchen, and it went downstairs. And then speaking of stairs, she ripped out the handrail along the stairs and started wielding it and chasing my girlfriend. And I think she got her a few times, because I ended up having to take my girlfriend to the hospital later. What else do I have? I forget. I was holding the baby again. This is gonna be a recurring thing. This sister likes to just abandon her baby and just give it to me and my girlfriend. There's so many times it got to the point where like I started to have like a parental bond with it. I eventually learned its name. I eventually like learned how to feed it and play with it. Like I've never had that before, like it was to the point where it was like, not to claim it as my own, but like there's a part of me like deep down that was just like, and we'll get to that. We'll come back to that part. Yeah, there was chasing going on upstairs, and I've got this kid, this baby that's like 5 months or 5 or 6 months now, and the sister is the she I'm talking about. The sister is holding not the 2x4, but like the giant stick thing that's along the stairs. She ripped it out, and she's chasing my girlfriend with it, and I'm trying to like, I've got a crying kid, people screaming. I'm trying to like, I don't know what to do, and And finally, the sister finds me. I'm at the bottom of the stairs. Give me my baby. And at this point, I'm like, what do I do? Do I A, hand over baby to angry, violent, drug-fueled 22-year-old, or do I not? And I thought, well, if I don't, she's armed. She's going to get this baby no matter fucking what. And I felt terrible, but I was just like, here. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was like, I don't want to look. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's happening. You know, like, and she, as I'm like as I'm like kind of like coming towards her, she quickly puts down the thing and she like gently takes it. And I'm like, okay, okay, we're good, I think. My girlfriend is in a bedroom, has the door locked, and has been beaten with a stick, with a big, like, that big weapon thing I've been telling you about. And she's hurting, and she's calling her family, saying like, oh, I need to call the cops, I need to call the cops. And her family said, don't call the cops. Because none of us in the family are fit to take care of this baby. We all have records. We can't take, if this happens, if the cops come, they're gonna take away the baby, and we're never gonna see it again. That's likely that they were convinced that that was gonna happen. One minute. So fucking Alaska. So, and I'm like, me and my girlfriend are both like, no, we need help. We need help now. Oh, also the sister's boyfriend is here and he's trying to calm her down. And I come into the bedroom with my girlfriend, and eventually somebody called the cops. Somebody, no, we didn't call the cops, but somehow cops came, and we're like, okay, well, they're here. We kind of like waved them down from the two-story window. We waved them down and said like we're up here. They're all like looking for like which house it is. They're like up here, and they come in, they take her away, and they check us, and they check the kid, and they check the boyfriend, and then what else? Some court shit came out of that. There were several $1,000s in damages to this house. There's glass and water and wood splinters and fucking holes in walls, doors punched through, and it's fucking nonsense. She what else came of that? So that was the event that happened in February. Me and my girlfriend are fine. Like we're doing like, but the things between the two of us are going well at this point. In March, I find out that she's still legally married, which I asked her explicitly. And then she came back with like, no, I said we were separated. Like, no, you said you were whatever, you know. No, you said you two were done and divorced. No, I said the paperwork. I still need to file it. Like I still. okay, well, is it gonna happen? I don't know, like, feels kind of weird. And there's still a bunch of like the ex-husband's shit in the house. There's still like his clothes in the closet. There's still like his posters and stuff to signify that this is somebody, this is a married person's house. So I felt kind of weird being in it and sleeping in the bed. And I had been living there. We're on March now. Yeah, we're in March. I had been living there long enough that the landlords noticed that I was there a lot. My car was there. And they said, "You need to sign the lease if you're going to live here." And I'd never really fully moved out of somewhere. You know, I've never really like lived on my own before, like fully. At this time, I was 25. I know that's a late age. Shut up. But it just never happened. And where was I? I signed the lease, and I'm stupid. I signed the lease, and then they said, "Okay, great. You're 3 months behind in rent." Okay, wow. That was just like me shooting myself in both feet. So we both get jobs. We work at a small convenience store. Not a small convenience store, but it's like a local owned local. It's kind of famous, and I don't know if I should say it. It's called New Sagaya. It's called New Sagaya's, and it's kind of like a market or a little store. I don't fucking know. It's not a convenience store. I misspoke. We got jobs there together. I was a cashier, which I explicitly asked for like a stocking job or some other kind of thing because I'm not great with people. And they quickly found out that I was not great with people. I was great at counting change. I was really fast at that, but like I was not good with people. No eye contact. I get sucked into drama really fast. Like if somebody's being snippy with me, you know, I'm gonna fire back, and it just happens. And I had an anxiety attack. I almost puked on a customer, and I left my station. And then they got mad at me for leaving my station. And I said, "Okay, well, I should just puke on them next time." They're like, "That's not what I said." I was like, "Well, this isn't the job I asked for. I fucking wrote it. I fucking told it. You know, whatever. Okay." This job is a whole other thing that this video is probably not even going to really touch on a whole bunch. So after 8 days of that, I'm transferred to a bread factory. My girlfriend is working at a bakery. Okay, let me back up. So I'm working as a cashier at this place. She's working at the bakery. We can see each other from across the place, and then I'm moved to a bread factory that kind of does business with this place. And the bread factory is one of the best jobs I've ever had, aside from like the racist Hispanics. I was like the only English speaking person there, and people would like snicker in Spanish and then like look and look at me, look at, you know, whatever. I don't know what the fuck they were saying, but like I kind of got like one of them spoke a little bit English, and then he would kind of like sometimes say like, I don't know, just I forget what exactly it'd say, but like just some racist shit. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna put on some headphones. So we got jobs. April 2015. Our relationship is still going fine. The sister keeps leaving the baby with us. I'm unable to keep up with rent. I'm paid almost nothing. Both of us are paid almost nothing. The owners were scamming us the whole time because we were still 3 months behind. Even a month later, we were still 3 months behind. And they said, as long as you're keeping your head above the water for the most part. But what they were doing is they weren't charging us for utilities. So our utility bills were racking up, and then late fees were on top of that. So they were scamming us. And then we started to notice that, the fuck was that? Dog and cat are fighting in there. Then we find out that everything's broken. I fell through the stairs. So our apartment is on the second floor, and then I fell through the stairs and I almost fell a whole story. The toilets and sinks wouldn't work. Sometimes we constantly had to have those looked at. This place was just overpriced and just disgusting, and in a bad part of town too. I'd take out my trash, and there was always like, I remember there was this one woman that would like chase me, and then I remember the first time I took out my trash. It was downtown, or not downtown, but like I'm blanking. And I take out my trash to the dumpster, and this woman is just standing there, just kind of looking for a direction to walk in. And then we lock eyes for a split second, and I just kind of wave. And it's, I don't know, it's in the evening, and she goes, "Stop chasing me." She says, "Stop chasing me." And then she starts chasing me. And then there's another time where she was asleep on, I remember going to work in the morning, and I open the door, and she rolls into the house. She was asleep outside. There was this old woman just rolled into the apartment because she was leaning against the door, and I just kind of like kicked her. I just kind of like, and then walked over her and went to work. Like, fuck. So, bad part of town, everything's broken, place is overpriced. Fuck my life. Things between us are still fine, between me and my girlfriend. But May 2015, she quits her job because she has stomach pain. We later find out that it's a stomach ulcer, and then that she also has, or no, excuse me. It was either, we thought she had a stomach ulcer, but what it ended up being was she needed her gallbladder out. She calls me constantly to come home from work and gets mad when I work overtime. So she's calling me at work all the time, and there were a few days where I was like, how bad is it? Do I have to come home? You know, like, I really gotta work because you just quit your job. At this point, I'm not mad at her for quitting her job. I'm concerned for her living situation, but I'm trying to be like, how bad is it? You know, like, do we need to see somebody? I don't know, like, what's going on? She's like, no, I just need you to come home and take care of me. And then she'd get mad if I didn't. I sometimes I'd have to say, like, I gotta work. I really gotta work. And I ended up taking like extra hours. There were some days where I'd work like 11 hours, and I'd come home, and she would get mad that I wouldn't stay up late with her. She really was sick because she was throwing up a lot. She couldn't hold down meals. Like half of everything she ate, she threw up. I wanted to be there to help her, but I can't. I make nothing pay. I work with racist Hispanics 10 hours a day, paying for an overpriced, rotting building. She begins to get bitchy and threatens to kill herself. And she's constantly fighting with me over stupid shit. So it was May that when this started happening. She started to slowly revert back to teenage girlfriend number 4. Maybe even worse. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that. As I go on, let me know if what I said about her in 2009 through 2011 is worse than 2015. Where was I? Another thing is, we live in Anchorage. I moved from Wasilla, and so I'm in a whole other town. I don't have any friends. I'm away from my family. This was another thing I forgot to mention. When I moved out, I made some horrible tie cutting with my family. I just left. I didn't tell them where I was going. My mom had a slight distrust for my girlfriend at the time. You could put that lightly. To put it lightly, slightly is a slight distrust, and so like her and my mom and I's relationship was strained, as was my relationship with my brothers. My dad lived in Anchorage though, and this was back when I was still talking to him. So I had my dad, I guess. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any. All I had was my girlfriend and her family. That was my friend group, and yeah, that's what I was left with. And I'd come home sore. I'd come home from work and I'd be sore, but I can't display it, or else I'll be called a bitch, or a fucking baby. She'd always call me a fucking baby. Something happened. Where are we at? May? Yeah, something happened in May. I don't think it was just the stomach problems, because I don't know. I told myself it was. I told myself, okay, she's gonna get better. I'd come home sore. I can't display it. No squinting, no limping, no grunting. I'm really sore. And I come home and I have to be very in line. I have to be very, let's see what else. I couldn't be on my phone for very long, or she'd slap it out of my hand. She said I was addicted to my phone, yet she was always on hers. And she was probably on it all fucking day, watching TV. Again, she's sick, so I'm trying. I'm at the time I was light on her. I was very permissive about her behavior towards me. The remainder of the night would go well if as long as I acted the way she wanted me to. Another thing was, I wasn't allowed, starting in May, I was not allowed to wake up before her. She was paranoid I'd leave and cheat while she was asleep or something. Like she wanted, whenever I was on my phone, whenever I'm on my phone, she has to, who you texting? She'd go through I remember her taking my phone, and she went through all my Facebook and my contacts and everybody, and just like weeded out everybody. Is it a girl? Let me see. Yeah, get rid of her. Oh, you've known her for 9 years and you've been totally platonic and non-sexual, never made an advancement. Oh, she's married and she has 4 kids. Oh yeah, she's still a threat. Get rid of her. Get rid of your mom too. Get rid of everybody. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to wake up before her. The apartment was only 2 rooms. It was a bedroom and a living room. And so like I couldn't go anywhere. If I happened to wake up before her, I just had to lay there and pretend I was asleep. I couldn't check my phone to see what time it was. One time I did that. One time I woke up and I checked the time. I was like, what time is it? And she kicks me in the back. She kicks me in the middle of my spine. And I went to work hurting even worse. She said, "Get off your phone." Cunt, I'm looking at the time so I can support you. So I can go to work. There's a cat. Hi. Yeah, she kicked me in the back. Her spending habits got way out of hand very fast. Weed, clothes, and drinking. She constantly had me ask my family for money, which, like I said, my relationship with my family was very strained. So, and I'd be like, "Can't you just ask your family for money? I don't know, like, there's no real strain on your fucking family, like, I'd be like, I've already asked my mom for like $100 this week, ask her for more. I need my weed." I fucking know. Like, and then it's just like, strain your relationship more so I can get my fix. So I can drink. So I can, oh, she would get these night gowns, and they were all the same. Every time we'd go through Walmart, "Oh, I gotta get this one. That looks exactly like the one I just bought you 3 days ago." "No, it's slightly different. See, the boob part is different. It's laced different on the frills. On the ends, it's different." How much is it? $29. Throw it in. Fuck me. We're getting to the good stuff. I promise. There's a reason this video. There's a reason I kind of made a little warning video about it last night. It wasn't quite a warning video, but it was like a. Get ready. Things are gonna get dark. She constantly had me ask my family for money, straining things with my mom even more. She heavily disliked being wrong. She was constantly on her phone, yet I was addicted to my phone. She'd slap it out of my hand whenever I'd touch it. She'd always want to argue, and she would get angrier when I told her I didn't want to fight. One thing I would tell her whenever she got like this, remember I was super permissive of this behavior during like the first month and a half. I was like, "Okay, I understand you're sick. You haven't like actually eaten anything in a few weeks." I'd probably be a little grumpy bear myself. So, but I would just, like, in the middle of a fight, I'd just be like, "Can we just hug? Can we just watch one of your shows and just hug on the couch?" I remember telling her one thing that kind of calmed her down sometimes is I'd tell her that we're on the same side. I'd say, "We're on the same side," and then that would kind of like calm her down. Sometimes it would make it worse. "We're on the same side. We're on the same side, Kurt. Yeah, we're on the same side. Look, does it look like we're on the same side?" This is just a nitpick. I couldn't play any of my music in my car. So not only am I not allowed to have contact with my friends, my family, I'm not allowed to listen to my own music. We're supposed to listen to Nicki Minaj and Kill Myself music. There's this one stupid Nicki Minaj song. I don't even know what it's called, but it goes like, "Ho, ho, like a dungeon dragon, like a dungeon dragon." I don't fucking know. It was like, what the fuck are we listening to? I remember one thing I tried to do to kind of incorporate some of my music in was I'd make a playlist on my phone of her music, and I'd sprinkle about like 9-10 songs into it too, and I'd put it on shuffle. And I remember one time, one of her songs came on in my car on the playlist. One of her songs, it was a Skrillex song. And the song came on, and she goes, "What the fuck is this?" And I said, "It's one of your songs. I don't know." She said, "This is not my song." And then it played, and I was like, "Just listen to it. It's what, like, just look at it. It's one of your songs." And she goes, "Oh." She didn't recognize one of her own songs, so she's one of those people that's like, if I don't know it, it's garbage. Like, but she just simply forgot one of her own songs, and thought it was mine. And when the thought came into her mind that it could be his, shut it off. So we had to listen to crap in the car. Oh, there's a bee. Fuck me. Eventually, I had worked something out where my mom brought out my cat. I had a cat still at my old home. Ah, fucking airplanes. Whatever. I'm gonna take a drinking break. It's raining. A little bit. Okay. We're good. My mom brought out my cat to live with us. At first, my girlfriend was like, "Okay, you can have this one thing." Because I'm living in this house that does not have any of my things in it. I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody out here. My family is cut off from me. I'm not allowed to talk to them. And she allows my cat to live with me, to live with us. I don't know why, because she instantly, like almost instantly, started despising this cat because I was giving it attention. That was attention I could have been giving her, though. Where was I? She hated, my cat's name was Tess, by the way. She hated when Tess would sleep on the bed because, I've had Tess since 2007 at the time. I had Tess since 2007, so she's been around me for a long time, and she would always sleep at the foot of my bed or on the pillow or at the head of my bed. She would always sleep with me, and then she'd always kick her off the bed. Get off the bed. So, and then she'd also, whenever I played with my cat and hung out and pet her, she would call me cat fucker. She would call me a cat fucker because she was jealous of something of a whole other species. She was jealous of a female of another species. Fuck me in half. She was starting to get to me, dude. Like, at this point, I was just like, okay, you're sick. I understand. But fuck you. You can still be nice to me. You can still be nice to the little fucking cat. You don't have to kick or swear at it, like she even left my door, the apartment door open. I came home from work, and she had left the door open. And I asked, like, "Why is the door open?" Tess could get out, and she said, "Yeah, I'm trying to let her out." She didn't run away, but like, she's mostly an outside cat, so of course I'm surprised she didn't run away. So that pissed me off. That led to a fight where she threatened to kick me out. That was one of the first times where she started throwing my stuff around. "You're out of here." Not much came out of this instance. I eventually calmed her down. I said, "I'm sorry for yelling. I just don't want you to let my cat out, please." Luckily, I got off the hook. She spared me. Such a nice girlfriend. she would get upset when I began getting depressed about how my life was going. You know, because like I've got, you know, her sister still fucking on me. I'm still left with this kid. I'm going to work for most of my day. I come home and I'm just yelled at and not allowed to feel pain. Yet that's all I feel. I'm not allowed to be myself. I'm not allowed to talk to any friends. I'm punished for providing. I think I already said I'm not allowed to talk to my family. I'm not allowed to. I'm not able to save any money. I'm not able to pull ahead. I thought this would be easier. I didn't think that. I thought this girl was. I thought she had changed. And I started getting really down, and she thought I was, by me being depressed, she thought in her mind that I was stealing her spotlight. Let me tell you something she said to me. So I expressed all of what I just said to her. I said, like, things aren't, I don't know, I'm running out of steam and things. And she goes, I'm supposed to be the fucked up one. She said that a few times. I remember that one vividly. She looked right at me. She said, Kurt, I'm supposed to be the fucked up one. Hi, cat. Another thing is she would always bring up my exes. Remember, she knew one of my exes because her ex-husband was cheating on her with one of my exes, or one of my girlfriends at the time. So she would search them up on Facebook in her spare time while I was at work. And she would look for, you know, like leftover pictures of me and their, like when you date somebody, you're going to share pictures and have them online. And she was looking for those pictures. She was looking for pictures of me with other girls from the past. She was looking for like posts of posts from like 2 years ago saying like, oh, we're so in love. I'm so in love with Kurt. And she was basically looking for a reason to hate me. Like, I'm sorry I dated someone before you. Like, she had stronger feelings for my exes than I did. She'd get upset that there was ever anybody else but her. Yet she had clothes and posters on the wall, roses on top of the fridge, all things from past relationships of hers. Most notably her ex-husband. She is fully divorced at this point. She did follow through with that. The items in particular didn't bother me. What bothered me was her hypocrisy. She one time went through my emails, and she found emails from 2003 with my first girlfriend. I mentioned that my first girlfriend and I would email every once in a while when she felt like it was, convenient for her to finally get back with me. Sorry, I'm sick. I don't know. I apologize for all the spitting in recent videos. I got like this taste in my mouth. I'm trying to like wash it out with shit. We're getting to the good stuff though. Yeah, she went through my emails and she found some emails from 2003. So it is 2015 at this point. So that means it was 8 years ago. It was, yeah. 15 minus 3 is 12 years. Excuse me. I've got my mind's going in all directions. I can't do math when I'm doing this. Fourth grade was hard. So yeah, 12 years ago. She was mad that I dated someone 12 years ago. Fucking airplanes. She got mad, kicked me out, threw all my things into the rain. And remember, we live on the second floor, so she threw it out into the rain, 2 stories. I collected all my wet things and put it in my car. She locked me out. Luckily, my car was unlocked. She still had my phone, and she still had my keys. The clothes I had on me were pajama pants, a hoodie, and 1 shoe. She just happened to throw 1 shoe on, so I had 1 wet shoe on. And I got in my car, and I couldn't go anywhere. I didn't want to wake anybody up, especially in this part of town. I do not want to knock on any of these fucking doors. I do not want to go visit her sister. Because every time I dare speak a word to her, she's just a cunt back to me. And go and violently, it's like there's a chance, there would have been a chance if I knocked on the door like, hey, can I use your phone? She'd be like, no, but you can hold my baby. I would have been stranded with a fucking baby in the middle of the rain. There's a fucking chance. I bet you. It didn't happen, but it's on the table. It's a possibility. She's that horrible of a fucking mother. She had my phone. She had my keys. I slept in my car. My car was unlocked. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't call anybody. I couldn't go home. I couldn't, I knew she had my phone, and she was probably going through more of my phone. She was probably going through, not this phone. It was an older phone, but like she was going through my phone, and I knew that I had nothing else to hide, but she started getting into my head, and she started getting into my head like, and made me think like, what if I do have something to hide? Like, because like I was part of dating websites. There's Plenty of Fish, dating website that I hadn't used in a long time, that I still get emails from. And what if I got an email saying like, Cutie69 sent you a message? Like what if, and they're like, who's Cutie69? Like, I don't know. This didn't happen, but like I was just like imagining like the worst things that could happen. Like what if she sees one of those things and she takes offense to it? Something that's totally out of my control. I'm still subscribed to this website. I still get emails. What if she gets mad about that? She'd make such a big deal out of nothing constantly that I'd begin to think that there was something to be made a big deal of. Like I was just saying, something so mundane, like towels. There was a big feud with our towels. She had 1 towel, and I was assigned another towel. And then she used my towel one day, and so I used the other towel for my shower. And then she got mad at me for using that towel, so I went back to the old towel, and she said, no, that one's mine now. And it was just like this whole thing, and it was like she made arguments out of nothing. And it was to the point where, like, in my head, that nothing actually became something. Like, it's hard to explain, but like, let me just read this. I wrote this to myself. Let me just read it again. She'd make such a big deal out of nothing constantly that I would begin to think that there was something to be made a big deal of. That's the best way I can put it. Like, I don't know. What do you mean you made macaroni and cheese for dinner tonight? I'd be like, you're right, that is bullshit. Like, you're right, that is bullshit. I'm sorry. There was one night where we had to check on our meth head sister and boyfriend. Let me wait for this plane to stop fucking me in the ass. Okay. We good? Good talk. We had to check on our meth head sister and boyfriend. There would be, so they lived behind us, right? and we would hear screaming almost every night, to the point where I knew every pitch that this girl could hit. She was always just wailing and screaming. There were cops over there a few times. That's another thing. My whole the whole time I'm dating this girl, there's just cops around her whole family all the time. There's just always a cop. And the fucked up thing is that's when I felt the safest. I felt the safest when there was an officer nearby. I looked forward to it. I could identify her scream from a long distance away, learned every pitch. That's okay, yeah. Her and her boyfriend asked me and my girlfriend one night if I could take them to the ER. It's late at night. I forgot how late. Girlfriend 4 and I went over, and she's cutting chunks of her inner thigh out because there's spiders inside. She was cutting out chunks of her leg. Big chunks. Blood everywhere, all over the bed. Disgusting. Horrible. Fucking gross. I was just like, what the fuck? She thought there were spiders in her leg. I was told to bag some of it. I had to grab chunks of meat, human meat, and put it in a bag. At first I said no. Kurt, you have to do it. Okay. That was so gross. We bagged some of the spider eggs, and we went to the ER. She bled all over the towel. I laid down towels in my car, and she was in the front seat, and she bled all over the towel. Couldn't use that towel anymore. So we get there, and she's freaking the living fuck out, okay? Like, she's still screaming. She's still scratching at her open fucking gaping wound. She doesn't have a knife on her anymore, but she's still like just like digging her hand into her own leg. After a little while of waiting in the waiting room, doctor comes out and says, there's no spider eggs. She's just tripping balls. She just cut out chunks of fat out of her leg. It's not spider eggs. She's just mutilating herself. Next thing. And then there was the whole court thing after she beat up my girlfriend, after the sister beat up my girlfriend in February. Remember the Super Bowl incident? This is still an ongoing thing where there's still a bunch of court shit. I was asked to testify, and I did not. I wanted to be little a part of this as I fucking could. And there were thousands of dollars in damages to her brother's house. The sister was charged by the state for assault and the damages, and a bunch of other like neighbor complaints and just a bunch of charges. And my girlfriend actually charged her sister too for assault. And then the sister charged my girlfriend for they charged each other for assault. So they weren't allowed to talk to each other. Where was I? And then because of this, by law, neither of them could have contact with each other. But one motherfucking damn week later, they're all friends again, meeting up, doing the same shit, despite everyone up each other's ass with some sort of legal retaliation. It was at this point I was starting to not even take them serious anymore. One thing they all bragged about, both of the sisters, and something that I had heard my girlfriend talk about since 2009 is, I'm a really good manipulator. I remember her saying that in 2009. I was like, is that something to be proud of? Yeah. I'm cute. You know, and her sister bragged about it in the same way. And they would just brag about what great manipulators they were. They weren't fooling the rest of the world. Like, they weren't fooling me. They were really just manipulating each other. The sister was in jail, and her parents bailed, or excuse me, her mother and brother, whose house was destroyed, bailed her out almost instantly. So they're just manipulating each other. The two sisters are manipulating each other. The sister is manipulating the brother and mom into, like, I'm really a good girl. I just have some problems. Can you get me out of jail? It was so frustrating. I keep saying her parents. Her family was such enablers for this horse shit. They just kept the circus going. The sister's boyfriend, I felt kind of bad for. He was kind of like an enabler too, but he was also just like strung along. He kind of reminded me of myself. I just imagined like if I dated the sister. And he's just this guy going like, I don't know about this. Maybe we shouldn't do heroin. Okay, I'll do heroin. Fuck. This story's getting dark. I had a hard time writing this shit. I'm not gonna lie. This stuff that's coming up, we're getting into the gray area, and we're trajectory is straight into the black at this point. The black part, the bad part. I don't like it. I don't like where this story is going, guys. I had a fuck of a time remembering and reliving this shit. Just fuck her sister, dude. From abandoning her infant child to cops all over all the time, I was never allowed to say, dude, fuck that. I was never allowed to say that. I was never allowed to speak ill of her. Or else I was just kicked out or fought with, or just like, she's my sister. You don't say nice things. You don't say those naughty things. And I like, you don't say fucked up things about my family then. Well, your family actually did something wrong. What did they do? Not want me to move? Yeah. Your sister fucking beat you with a piece of wood. Destroyed her brother's house. Constantly just hands her child off to whoever's closest. Overly violent. There was at one point where the sister was trying to get drugs, and she basically sold her body for it. She let some guys fuck her. Tell me again when my family beat you with a fucking 2x4. Remind me of that day. I don't recall it. Remind me of the day when my little brother fucking shot up heroin and sold his asshole for a, Remind me again. Remind me again how horrible my family is. Please, just say it. Like, I wasn't allowed to say anything about any of it. I just... Okay, next part. Alright, sorry. I had to move inside. It started raining pretty hard. I was at... Oh, her sister was... I wasn't allowed to talk ill of her sister or her family. Which is funny because next part is my girlfriend would talk shit about my family constantly. She hated my mom. She, make it comfortable real quick. She hated my mom, and my brothers annoyed her. She only liked my dad because I didn't talk to him much. Another thing is she admitted to having several contacts in her phone exclusively for sex, and has taken this even further by later threatening to cheat on me on 3 occasions, each of which I was too tired from work to stay up until 3 in the morning. So what that means is I would come home from work, right? I didn't think this camera thing through. I would come home from work and I'd be so tired that I would be barely awake enough to just eat dinner, help out with dinner, help out with dishes, do whatever else, and then hang out with her for like an hour or something and then pass out. The last 6 weeks of our relationship were the hardest. Like, I hadn't cried so much in my life. I had no tears left. I've never had that in my life ever. I don't really cry a whole lot. Not to sound like a big tough guy, because I'm not. But it's just, I feel sad a lot. But like, I never really cry. I guess that's weird. Tears never really come out when I'm like upset about things. But I've never cried so much in my life at this point. We found out it was her gallbladder that was causing her pain. And I thought that after her having the surgery, she'd feel better and she'd be back to her old normal self, right? Like, just like old times. We'd be buddies again. We'd be a couple again. That was my light at the end of the tunnel. That was my goalpost. That was what I was looking forward to. And I just had to last until then, right? But after the surgery, here she is. Days later after her surgery, cutting herself on the bathroom floor and destroying the apartment again. I couldn't leave. I'm getting so done talking about this. I would have to make sure I would have to stay and make sure she's not going to hurt anyone or herself more. I couldn't leave. She'd destroy my things. Like, I've tried to, like I said, like there were times where like I would try to leave. And what did I already tell you about the part where I was locked out? Yes, I did. There was that one time where I was out of the house and she was pushing me out of the house, and basically, to recap that incident, she kicked me out of the house, but I still couldn't leave. The last time that happened, though, I came home from work after about an 11-hour shift. I remember it was exceedingly long. It was a pretty long day. And I was exhausted, but I stayed awake, for dinner and did some dishes and all my normal, I didn't want to just like come home and, I still wanted to spend time with her, right? She wanted to have sex. And the last thing I remember before passing out was saying I was too tired. I hate this next part. I don't know how long it had been. I don't know how long it had been. But I woke up to the sound of things being thrown. The sheets were taken off of me. She told me to leave. So I wake up and she's telling me to leave. Sheets are thrown off of me. My things are flying across the room. She's being a big piss baby again. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. I won't fuck her. I guess that warrants me being gone out of her life. I'm of no use to her anymore. Because I won't put out. Like, I don't know. If a girl did that, or excuse me, if a guy acted like that, he'd be called a douchebag. So girlfriend 4, you're a douchebag. Yeah, I won't put out. Fuck you. You fucking sick fuck. I do everything. I'm trying to take care of you. I'm on the same side as you. Can you see that? Can you just let me rest? I'm sorry you want to get your rocks off. I thought you were in pain, by the way. You just had surgery. You've been bitching for months about how you're in so much goddamn pain. You want to fuck? Fuck you. Don't do that to me. Like, and she told me to leave. So I wake up in the middle of the night. She tells me to leave. And I'm tired. And you know what? I don't want to fight. So I just, what I say? I say, okay, I'll leave. I went to the kitchen. I grabbed some garbage bags. I started putting all my things into these bags. And she looks at me. She looks around. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're packing your things. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm leaving. You told me to leave. You've been telling me to leave. You clearly don't want me. She saw what I was doing, and she threw herself onto me, and she tackled me onto the bed. And she has both hands on me. She has both hands on my throat, putting all of her weight onto my throat. I can't breathe. I don't want to hurt her because I'm the guy, and if I lay hands on her, I could get in trouble. Yay, equality. I'm kidding. I'm not going to go on some pro-woman beating tangent. I'm just saying, like, in an instant like that, I should be able to, like, defend myself. But eventually I don't have enough air in I don't have enough fucking air going into me that my instincts kick in and I start, like, get off me. I throw her off. I don't care if I'm going to jail. At this point, I just need to survive. This was a fight or flight, or what's it called? Yeah, fight or flight, sink or swim. I think those mean the same thing. I don't know. I'm too. When you relive like an instant in your head, and you get pissed off, and you're like, I haven't thought about that in years, but yeah, it's like it just happened. Like, I don't know. And so I fling her off me, and she immediately just runs to the bathroom, presumably to go cut herself again. I don't know. It's just that it's just what she goes to do. I don't know if it's for attention or if she actually feels. I don't know if something's actually, if it's actually like an attractive thing to do for her to. I don't know. But at this point, I'm at a fork in the road. She's in the bathroom. She's locked herself in. I can have, and a bunch of my things are in bags, and I don't own very much stuff in this apartment. I could leave right now, but I didn't. Somehow I knew she was in the room in the bathroom, cutting herself, and I couldn't leave her like that. I talked to her through the door. I asked if she was okay. We talked through the door for a couple minutes. She let me in. She was all marked up on her arms. I don't know. Once we washed her up, she wasn't as badly injured as I thought. She was dripping everywhere, but like I think it was just, I don't know, it was a bunch of small cuts. And I remember her crying into my chest, like into my arms or my chest or somewhere. She's crying into me and she said, "You're going to leave me, aren't you?" And then the next thing she said sent chills down my spine. She said, "You're going to leave me, aren't you? I'd die without you." How the fuck am I going to leave now? How am I ever going to leave? She has me by the dick and balls. I don't know if she's just saying this to fuck with me, or if she's actually gonna do it. If she's actually implying she'll just fall over dead the minute I leave the house? If I leave the apartment, she's gonna fucking just kill herself. Which is more fucked up? Her using that as a manipulation tactic, or her actually doing it and it being a manipulation tactic? Just fuck my actual fuck me. Just I'd die without you. Makes me so mad now. I lost my place when I threw my phone, dude. I don't know. I remember laying on the bed when she got off me. Just to rewind a little bit. She got off me, or I threw her off. I had to push her off me. She ran to the bathroom. I remember thinking, my first thought actually was not, am I okay? It was actually, what if, for some reason, it was actually, what if we had kids and they came in and saw this? Like, what if, like, what if our son or daughter came in? What if little Kurt Jr. came in? Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And then they saw Mom on top of Dad, choking Dad out, and then Mom running to the bathroom to cut her arms up. What the fuck? That's another thing. She wanted to have kids, like, dearly. We talked about having a future together, but at the rate of like not being able to pull ahead on money, that's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. Her behavior, her substance abuse. I don't want to raise a kid around her family either. I virtually already have a kid. Like, I'm whenever I'm home, like a fifth of the time, I have a child in my, I don't know, fuck around me. Like or I don't know. I'm getting off topic. I I don't know. I thought we had made up. Same night, same night. I thought we had made up, and I was gonna go back to bed. And I thought she was gonna go watch a movie or go back to bed with me. And she says she still wants to have sex. She says, "So you're gonna fuck me, right?" No. We just went over this. I'm tired. I'm trying to. No. I offered, I said, "Do you need an ambulance though? I'm too tired to drive anywhere. I'll call your mom or I'll call an ambulance." That's all I'm able to do right now. She gets out her phone and she starts texting. I tell her, "No, I'm too tired." She goes, "Oh." I'm like, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm sending out a mass text to about 20 or 30 people. I'm getting laid tonight. I don't care who it's with." I'm getting laid tonight. I don't care who it's with. 40 minutes later, a woman shows up at my door. My girlfriend lets her in, and they fuck in the bedroom. They fuck in the bedroom. I'm on the couch in the other room thinking about what the fuck is my life. This is not what I thought moving out would be. None of this. So, yeah, that was devastating. I lost about most of my love for her the night she attacked me. I would have left if I didn't think she was going to hurt herself. I would. From then, I just kept, I kept trying to convince myself, right? Like, I kept trying to convince myself that her and I had made up since then. I kept telling myself that, like, things were okay, things are okay, things can get better. I noticed both me and my mom stay in relationships that we have no business staying in. We both, we both try to salvage things, even if it's beyond repair. Like, to the point where it's, I don't know, it's kind of stupid, actually. It's kind of stupid of us. I wish I was able to, like, take off the rose-tinted glasses and see the cancer for what it fucking was. But she would continue to say she'd continue to say and do the most hurtful things that would stick with me. I don't know if I've said this yet. One threat she would make. One threat she would make. This is a fun one. She would say, "If you ever leave me, I'll tell everyone you hit me." "I'll tell everyone you hit me if you ever leave." I recorded it one time. She made that threat about 3 times. I remember the first time. She was really good at making me feel trapped. I remember the first time she said it. It came out of fucking nowhere. I didn't even think we were having that big of an argument. And then she drops that bombshell. I remember the third time too. I don't remember this. I remember the second time. I forget what was going on, but the third time I recorded on my phone. Not this phone. I had another phone at the time. And I recorded it. I had a recording. And she says, "Kurt, if you ever leave me, I'll tell my family and the cops that you hit me." And I lost that recording. About a year later, after breaking up with her, I lost the recording. I was stupid enough to not save it on a hard drive or a thumb drive or anywhere else. I don't know why I didn't. Because apparently I did leave her. Who's to say? Who's to say that she could have, who's to say that, I check about once every few months to see if I have a warrant on my head. I'm not kidding. 4 years later, I still check that. You don't think a crazy cunt like this wouldn't fake something like... She's already covered in cuts and bruises from herself. Who's to say that she's not gonna hit herself and frame it on me? Who the fuck? After everything I've said to you, what makes you think that she wouldn't do that? I was scared pissless when she dropped that the first time, and the second and the third. The third, I felt a little ray of hope, because I had it on my phone. And I was like, well, maybe this can save me a little bit. If this ever fucking falls on my head, that was just another fucking tool at her disposal. That was just another finger in my ass that she had. I don't know. So in June, just to get back on track, in June of 2015, I cut myself for the first time in 8 years. I remember telling you guys in another video, in high school, I had a small brush with cutting myself. It only lasted 4 months. And I have a trash can right here, by the way. I'm not spitting on my carpet. And sorry I've been spitting, by the way. I feel I kind of have like a gross taste in my mouth. And I've been sick. I got a trash bag with me, or trash can. Yeah, I cut myself for the first time in 8 years. I felt like a stupid teenager. I don't know how this girl does it every day and doesn't feel ridiculous. And she got mad at me. She saw my arms. I tried to hide it, and she saw it. And she got mad at me because, once again, I was trying to steal her spotlight. She's supposed to be the fucked up one, remember? Not me. I can't feel things. Who, me? Get the fuck out of here. She left to go commercial fishing. She's going to go commercial fishing because her and her family does that every year. I kind of remember her doing it, back in 2010 or whatever. I remember her being out of town for 4 to 6 weeks or however fuck long. And so we got her ready. I remember getting her a new cell phone. We got her new things. We got her a new cell phone. She threw her cell phone at me during an argument. That's another thing. I'd come home from work and she'd be like, "You're home late," and she'd throw shit at me. She'd throw glasses at me. She'd throw her phone at me. Her phone didn't land on me, but it hit the wall and it cracked in fucking half. She threw glasses at TV remotes, glass cups. I think I said that already. So I had to get her a new phone for her fucking fishing trip. At this point, I'm still doing her favors, but it's no longer because, we're friends. Before, it was like, I care about you. I really want you to have nice things. I really want to take care of you. But man, after her surgery and she was still being a dick, and the night she attacked me, I had a total tonal shift in my head. Like, I was still under her thumb, but I began becoming resentful. My phone keeps losing my spot. Yeah, she was gonna go fishing. We got her ready, bought her a bunch of new clothes and waders and shit and fucking whatever else. At the airport, I'm gonna admit there were tears. She was gonna be gone a while, and part of me was thinking that this might be the last time I see her because I might decide to leave while she's away. Ugh. Sorry. I'm thinking about maybe leave. I'm at this point, I honestly didn't think I wanted to stay with her at this point. I don't know why, but at this point I remember my mindset being I want to stay with her. But what if there's that chance? What if the realization floods over me? Like what if I decide not to stay? There was that unpredictability, like that self unpredictability. Like I was kind of afraid that like I was going to leave. We're at the airport. We were both crying. I don't know. Maybe she thought the same thing. I do think she genuinely loved me. I just don't think. I don't know if she had I don't know what her past relationships really were. From what she told me, a lot of her past relationships were just sex. I don't know if she knew how to love somebody properly. But she was crying. Or maybe she was crying at the fact that, like, maybe I was the possibility of me leaving too. I just had so many feelings, so many emotions, and also lack thereof of emotions. Like I was feeling so many things when she was leaving, but I also just felt numb. I remember dropping her off. I remember not dropping her. I went in with her, and I remember waving at her through the glass, and she went on the airport. She went in the airplane. That was the last time I saw her. About 4 years, almost to the month. It was June of 2015. I went to my car and I cried because I wasn't sure what to do. I had an opportunity to leave once again. I had all these forks in the road that I kept making. I seemingly thought I was making the right decision at each turn, but like I kept, for some reason, I'd stay. I went home to an empty apartment. It was just me. My cat was no longer with me because I guess I forgot to mention, my girlfriend had bitched about my cat being there so much that I just went, I was just like, whatever. She'll go back home. You win this fight too, girlfriend 4. My one friend so I totally empty apartment. I clean up the apartment. I try to make it like, I try to catch up on things. I thought that if I could stay around I thought that if I could stay around at the apartment and wait for her to come back, I could maybe piece things together, catch back up on money, just basically just work myself to death and not have to worry about coming home late, right? And just work myself to death and catch up on money and focus on the house and basically just cook, clean, work, sleep. I thought, okay, I'll just do that for 6 weeks. And when she comes back, it'll just be almost like a reset button, right? Hopefully, hopefully the surgery is supposed to be a reset button too, but fuck me and my ass. I was arguably worse off without her, however, without her at the apartment. She'd say and do some horrible things to me, and made me feel horrible things. But without her, somehow I was worse. I didn't talk to anybody. I actually started on about 10 days in to her little trip. I started talking to my brother. I think my brother started talking to me. And he asked to see me. I don't know. Him and my mom came out and kind of gave me a little bit of an intervention. I don't know. And yeah, gave me a little bit of a talk. Kurt, we miss you. We don't really hear from you. I ultimately decided to leave with them. I heard what they had to say. It didn't change my mind, but a part of me knew that I had to leave. And because this wasn't gonna last much longer anyway. I could try my hardest to keep it going, but it would never be good enough. I didn't want to leave while she was gone. I kind of thought that'd be fucked up. Like if she just came back and I was gone. But if I left while she was here, there'd be another fight and there'd probably be a cop involved because each of these fights escalates. The last one we had domestic violence. And there's been many cases of self-harm within this apartment between the two of us. I had one and she's had like 90. Like things are not okay. Things are just gonna get worse. She'd come back, or if she came back and I left, she'd destroy my things, throw them around, call me a bitch, because that's one of her favorite words to call me. She called me a bitch, go back to mama, faggot, tell me to be a man. I just, and then this way was just better. Like if I just slipped out the back door, basically, like I didn't want anything. I didn't want things to escalate. I didn't want anything on her record. I didn't want anything on my record. Her threat of telling the cops that I would abuse her, that was on my mind. But at the same time, I just wanted out. I wasn't gonna last long in that house, in that apartment. Like I said, this wasn't gonna last longer. Like, I don't know. What's the next fight gonna be? Like, she gonna like whip out a katana and take off some of my fingers? Like what's the next time? I decided there's not going to be a next time. Fuck this cunt. I'm out. Those rose tinted shades, they're gone. They're out into the street. I didn't have that attitude at the time. I didn't have that fuck her mentality. I had the. It was a very somber thing. It was a very hard decision. I've never been married, but that's kind of like what I've. It almost felt like a marriage, like the closest thing I could imagine one to be. And it was hard to leave. I did not. I don't like leaving. Like, I don't like breaking up. Like, I don't. I've had enough of these. You know? And there was also the whole, like, my family telling me, like, Kurt, we told you so thing over my head. I don't know if they actually felt that way, but, like, I felt kind of embarrassed, like, going back to mom, you know? We're going back to mom's house with my tail tucked between my legs. You know, there was that shame, too. So my plan was, if I was going to leave, our lease was up in July. So it's June at the time. I had paid June's rent. I just had 1 month left. Our lease was up next month. I used the last of my money. I used the last like $1,100 of my money to pay for next month's rent. So that her things wouldn't be thrown away. She wouldn't be evicted while I was out of town, you know, while she was out of town. I mean, while we were both out of town. I didn't want her to be evicted while I don't know. I felt that would be fucked up to do if I just left without paying rent, and then she comes back to all her things thrown away and the house, the apartment completely emptied, and she's locked out. She has no home. I didn't want that to happen. And then another reason was I wasn't sure if she could like sue me if I did that. I'm sure there's like legal action you can take, you know, things that like protect people in her position if she ever like, you know, like I felt like if she came back and your apartment was empty, she could be like, I'm filing against Kurt, you know. He was supposed to pay this. I wasn't able to pay it because I was out of town. I wasn't able to, like, I don't know, something. Me and Kurt had a verbal agreement that he would pay the, you know, I'm sure there was some kind of legal. So I just thought, I just wanted to cut all ties with her. I forked over the rest of my money and I just wanted to cut ties with her. And I thought this was the safest way, you know. I left her $400 in food stamps. Let me see. The lease would be up. You know, the lease would be up again, like I said. So I didn't need to sign a whole bunch of stuff to get off the lease. I just left, I left the security deposit for her too. It was actually hers to begin with, because remember, I didn't put anything down. It was her apartment originally. And so I didn't take anything. My brother and my mom were there in town to help me pack up what little I had in the apartment. Most of my stuff, I didn't bring very much with me, and a lot of it was damaged. A lot of my stuff was damaged. I had a lot of, I don't know, I just had like a car full of things, and then, or like a car and a quarter worth of things. We loaded my mom's car up with some stuff. I left her $400 in food stamps. I turned in my key. I quit my job. I turned off my phone for a few days and I drove to Wasilla. I drove home. And I had so much guilt on the way home. It wasn't funny. I don't know why I felt guilt. It was one of the last things I should have been feeling. You know, but here I am so guilty that I'm driving behind my mom on the highway and I'm thinking about just I'm thinking about just wrecking my car. I'm thinking about just like driving and just running off the road. I'm thinking about just doing it. Like I can't live with the decision I made. And I get home finally, amazingly. Um, One thing she would always say to me, repeatedly, one thing she would always say to me whenever I'd be like, I'd try to like tell her like, I'm trying to do all these nice things for you. I'm on your side. We're not enemies. And she would take that as me trying to take like the moral high ground. And she would say to me, Kurt, you're not as great a guy as you think you are. Great. I have almost like no self-esteem. I don't think of myself as a great guy already, but thanks for the words of encouragement. You're not as great a guy as you think you are. I get home to my old home and I'm in my old room and it just looks alien to me. And I don't talk to anybody. My phone's still off. When I log back into Facebook and my phone and everything, she's left a string of fucked up messages to me. I have released these to Facebook, but it's basically her just going, Kurt, where'd you go? I miss you. I love you. And then the next one would be like, fuck you, asshole. Grow up and be a man. And the next one would be like, I'm sorry I said that. I really love you. Please come back. And the next one would be like, pussy ass bitch. Fuck you. And your mom too. You're just hiding behind your mom's skirt. And the next one would be like, oh, I'm sorry I said that. I actually love you. Please come back. You're my baby. Please come back. I appreciate you. And the next one would be like, it was like two people had a hold of her account. It was fucking, I don't know, like, they're on Facebook. I don't know. I finally released it about 3 years. I released it last year or the year before. And I was just like, Pepper Ridge Farm remembers. So, yeah, she left me a string of fucked up messages. She made up a bunch of shit on Facebook about how she's the soldier in all this, about how I took all her money, which she didn't have any money. No, I was making money. I left you money. I left you $400 in food stamps. I paid for your apartment so you wouldn't be evicted. I've given you thousands of dollars for weed, clothes, drinking, all kinds of stupid shit, DVDs, all kinds of horse shit. I've been with you the whole time. I've given you thousands of dollars in rent, and like, I don't mind doing all these things, but when you turn that against me and say, no, you didn't do any of those things, no, that's where I start to stand up for myself. And I lost my place again. God, every time I tilt my phone and it recorrects itself, and it like, she was telling me that I didn't leave any food for her. No, again, another fucking lie. She said I stole her house key. No, I gave it back to, I gave it to the front desk. I said to him, I said, my girlfriend is coming back in a few weeks. Give this to her. This is her, she still lives here. I turned in my key and I said, give this to her. I don't know, maybe she was having, I don't know, all she had to do was talk to the front desk. 17 days, it was 17 days after she got back from her trip. She was already dating another man. She already found a new boyfriend, and she was living with him in Palmer. She moved in with him instantly. Some people just need companionship, I guess, and she's no different. No matter who it is, I gotta be with somebody. I gotta be fucking somebody. I gotta be with somebody. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if she was actually like a romantic that was confused and she had to be with somebody, or if she actually just wants to bone with somebody, or if, like, I don't know what it is, but she has. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who she's with. If, like, you know, girlfriend 4's boyfriend, current boyfriend, if you're watching this, or if you've ever dated her, you don't matter. You didn't matter. You never mattered. You will never matter. I never mattered. I don't speak ill of many people. This is one dumb fuck that I will. This is... I mentioned earlier that she would claim that she's a big manipulator, and I would just, like, scoff at that. Maybe she did manipulate me. I wouldn't be in such bad shape at the end of this. I wouldn't have stayed with her so long. But yeah, she's moved in with this new guy. Doesn't matter who she's with, it's just somebody. It's like, does this person have genitals? I want to be with them. Which is kind of fitting, because this girl is nothing more than a life support for her vagina. That's all she is. She's just brain, a heart, and a lungs for her pussy. That's all she is, just a fucking vagina that just walks around and fucks anything. She's disgusting. Which leaves me feeling like some nameless, faceless person that provided for her, shared moments with her. Yeah, we had moments together. I thought we had moments together. We'd go to the library, we'd go to the lake, we'd feed ducks, we'd go to movies, we'd have dates. Believe it or not, throughout all this horseshit, the reason I stayed was because we actually had nice moments together. I thought they meant something. But here she is 17 fucking days later with some other... I don't know. I don't know whether to call this guy a poor asshole or a dumb asshole. You know, I don't know whether to sympathize or you know, demonize him. Like, I don't know whether... I don't know. You know, like, I don't... And while she's going out and immediately finding a new boyfriend, I feel burnt the fuck out. I feel absolutely burnt the fuck out. And I don't ever want to date again, I feel. Like, how's that for contrast? She goes out, finds another guy. I haven't dated since 2016. I've dated one girl. I tried dating one girl since her and I. And I was so fucked up that I could not hold down that relationship. I couldn't hold it down for 6 months. This new girl was so sweet, and I wish I had met her earlier in my life. And I was just so fucking damaged. How's that for contrast? What does that tell you about us? She goes off and finds another guy. I'm left up picking up my own self out of the, you know, I'm just like rolling around in my own filth, just tells you a lot about our relationship. I haven't had a sex drive since 2015. The thought of sex isn't even enjoyable to me anymore. It strikes me as drudgery. I don't even know if I could get it up for a girl anymore. It means nothing to me anymore. I'm not kidding. I don't fucking know. aside from all aside from all the little things that couples are supposed to do, you know, like bitch about bathroom towels, being on my cell phone too much, I could tell that this was becoming bigger than me. I did my best. I promise everyone I did my best. I tore myself from my family and my friends, the things I love to do. I had no identity living there. I wasn't Kurt. I was part of Girlfriend 4's life. We hung out with her friends, her family, listened to her music. I was told to sell my car. Oh, that's right. I was told to sell my car because we only needed her car because, oh, Kurt, sell your car because we need to make up for rent money. Like, just Kurt, just sell your things. You don't own many things, but Kurt, just sell them. You know, sell all your magic cards, sell your car. Get rid of your cat. I don't like her. You're a cat fucker. I don't like your music. It's unbearable. But we're gonna listen to fucking Nicki Minaj's dumbass. Fucking retarded. You don't care. I never felt like the apartment was mine. It was just covered in her ex-husband's posters, clothes, roses that he had given her. Like, it was just her world, and I wasn't allowed to make a ripple in it. I was just somebody passing through her life. And when I left, everything went from 100 to 0 in one day, excuse me. In one day, when I got back, I was back in my room. Here I am in my old room, in my old house, and I'm just like looking around it. And I haven't had like a moment to myself. No kids screaming. No girlfriend screaming. No sister screaming. No sister's boyfriend yelling or crying in the corner. No cops. No police sirens. Nothing. When I left, everything went from 100 to 0. It was like pausing a car crash, and debris is suspended in the air, and you have all the time in the world to reflect on what went wrong. It was a difficult decision, but I'm ultimately happy I left her. It really, it really did take her to realize my worth. I don't regret it. I don't regret anything. I don't regret being with her. I don't regret leaving her. I would never do it again, but I don't regret it. And I don't regret making this video.